Okay, so we're going to look at how to solve a Suko puzzle. These have 9 cells and you have to use the numbers 1 to 9 once each in the different cells. You're told what the different colour cells sum to. So the 2 dark colour cells over here on the left sum to 11. The 3 mid-colour cells on the right sum to 20. And the 4 light colour cells sum to 14. You're also told what each of the 4 cell blocks surrounding each point sum to. So these 4 sum to 10, these 4 sum to 16, these 4 sum to 18, and these 4 sum to 22. Often you're told what 3 cells are of one of these 4 cell groups, or maybe even 2 of them, and that means you can fill in a square directly. So if you knew that and that sum to 17, then that would have to be a 1. But we can't do that on this particular puzzle. I usually start by just labelling the cells to make it easier to do equations and things. I call them A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and I. And then we can start to think about what the different cells sum to. So in this case we know that D plus G equal 11. And we can take that 11 away from the 18 for these 4 cells and say that E plus H equals 7. And we can also work out what F plus I are by taking 7 away from 22. Now we also know that all the light colour cells sum to 14, and we know that these two equal 7. So therefore A and B also equal 7. Now a little trick we can do is that if you sum up all the numbers 1 to 9 you get 45. And we know what these 3 pairs of cells are, so we can work out that A plus B plus C equals 45 minus whatever D and G are, 11, minus whatever E and H are, which is 7, and whatever F and I are, which is 15. And therefore we know that A plus B plus C equals 12. Now we're starting to get somewhere because we know that A plus B equals 7. So if we take 7 away from 12, we get 5. So we can put a 5 in that cell. The other useful thing we have in this particular puzzle is we have 10 here, which is a so-called triangle number with 4 numbers. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 are the only numbers that will sum to 10. So we know that somewhere in those 4 cells we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. We can start to think about what pairs of numbers sum to these different totals for pairs of cells. So let's start off with the 7 because we've got 2 pairs of cells that are summing to 7. So that could be a 1 and a 6, a 2 and a 5, or a 3 and a 4. Well, we can rule the 2 and the 5 out because we've already used the 5 here. So one of these pairs adds to 7 has got to be 1 and a 6, and the other one has got to be 3 and a 4. So we know that we can't use 1 and a 6 or 3 and a 4 in any of the other cells. And in fact we know that A and B must be the 3 and the 4 because we can't have a 6 in there because we know that these are 1, 2, 3 and 4 to give us the 10. So we know that A and B is 3 and 4, and we know that E and H is 1 and 6. And E can't be a 6 because these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that must be a 1, and this must be a 6. We said that f plus I are 15, so that could be a 9 and a 6, or an 8 and a 7. Well, we've already used the 6, so that must be an 8 and a 7. And what we've got left is the D and the G over here, which we've got to sum to 11. Well, basically it's the numbers we've got left, which are the 9 and the 2. Well, as before, we know that of the 9 and the 2, that's got to be the 2, because these 4 are 1, 2, 3, 4. So that must be the 9. So does this work? 9, 10, 12, 18. So that's okay. And there's something to 11, so that's okay. So we've got F and I as an 8 and a 7, and A and B as a 3 or a 4. So if we think about this 16 as the sum of those four, if that was an 8, this would have to be a 2, which we said that A and B were 3 and 4, so that can't work. So it must be the 7, and that must be the 3. So you've got 7, 10, 15, 16. That's working. And then the other one in that pair was the 4, so we've got that. So 4, 6, 9, 10, that's working. And then finally we've got the number we're missing down here is the 8. So we've got 8 and 6 is 14, 15, 22. And here we can just check 8, 15, 20. And these, we've got 6, 10, 14. So we're all done. That's how to do a Suko very slowly, compared to the other guy on YouTube who says it should take 30 seconds without writing anything down.